Hello everyone, we're doing a tier list. These are easier to edit as we're going through. The YouTube algorithm's been a little finicky lately, but we've got the returning people, Nanogerm and Murmur, with me today. And then TK is back. He was asleep last time, so he couldn't join in on the Left 4 Dead AI slot video. And then we have two guys that I'm glad to have with us. Dark Games, the animator that you've seen on the channel quite frequently, otherwise known as Duke of Gumby.
Hello.
He is, sir. And we also have Chago, my longtime editor and good friend in the great state of Texas.
Yeah. Yep, down the road.
All right, so we're going to do a tier list, and how this is going to go is we're going to go through each chapter in chronological order, and we are going to discuss where it should be placed, and we have to agree on where it should be placed. We have different opinions from campaign to verses of where it should go, so we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. We're going to start with the first one. All right, so we're doing Chapter 1, No Mercy, The Hospital. The very first chapter in the Left 4 Dead franchise.
I'd say it goes an S, just because it's the perfect introduction to the game.
Why would you say it's perfect, though?
Well, if you take into account the intro scene in the first game, I think it perfectly sets that up. And then from there, just you get a nice view, like from the rooftop, you're looking down on all the zombies on the street. It flows together perfectly with how you get from the rooftop all the way down into the train station.
Okay, yeah, because it's kind of claustrophobic when you start. You have to go through the building, and you're up and close to the zombies, then you go outside, and it's wide and open. So
Yep,
it's
I
kind
like
of a
it.
good showcase.
I think there's a good sense of verticality in this level. I like it a lot. There's been a lot of other people I feel like to try to replicate the whole starting on a rooftop, making your way down kind of cliche. And I feel like Left 4 Dead executed it
back for back.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, they did try to start that way.
They did, yeah.
C tier for sure.
The only reason I'm saying A is because it is a little short.
Yeah, it is probably the shortest level in the entire
Yeah.
And yeah, in all of Left 4 Dead 1, actually, I would consider that. And also for just when it comes to trolling, that rooftop, it's unintentionally and intentionally, I don't know how many times people have tried to jump off the roof to try to do the glitch to get to ground level and either have in-capped themselves or died, and I don't know how many times I've heard that restart campaign. Doom, doom. And hell...
No Mercy will always be my favorite. I don't care. I just like the vibe of it. I like the whole city aspect of running around.
So with that, we'll put that in the S tier. And I think everyone agrees that's S tier because that's where everything started. Now, when we get into the sewers... And not sewers, it's more of a train station that goes into a power station.
Actually, that's probably like the only level that I don't like.
Yeah, same.
I think
especially
it's my
on
least
versus.
favorite on No Mercy.
Yeah, B tier.
I like the environment of it all, just being in the train station, seeing it.
Train station is cool, but it kind of goes in and out because you do the train station, the power station, you go through the building, you go out into the street.
It also has that crescendo.
Yeah.
That crescendo sucks.
Really,
that wasn't
easy.
originally a crescendo.
It makes no sense. You just turn on click a button and then you get swarmed.
Yeah, and then you're forced to go in that room where there's a hole in it.
Yeah.
But it's not bad. So what are you guys thinking, B?
Yeah.
Or so lower B or high C?
I would say lower B. I think that's a good spot for right now.
Yeah. Now this is where it starts the tradition in Left 4 Dead, and I feel like in a lot of zombie games, you have to trudge through a sewer. I don't know how many times Left 4 Dead does it. We're gonna go through and see that.
The sewer isn't as cool as the sewer in Death Toll. I'll say that.
Yeah, the sewers in Death Toll is massive.
Right.
But we also gotta think that the sewers are a very small fraction of this actual chapter.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're not in it too long.
And yeah,
that's
the whole
true.
idea of blowing up the gas station, and you got that crescendo, and
that's a great crescendo too.
Yeah, going on the rooftop. So campaign, it's a lot of fun, but versus when you're a survivor, you're sitting there dreading it because there's always a charger, a jockey, a smoker just waiting to pull you down, knock you down about 20, 30 points of health. But yeah, you start off you go in the street and then, you open the door and there's two different ways you go. Either can get really good weapons or you just go straight to the burger tank. I kind of like that. You get an option. You can go the long route and get better weapons or just skip it entirely. Going into the sewers, I feel like that's my least favorite part of No Mercy just because that ladder is such a bitch.
I was going to say, you can get people stuck up there, and if they get in-capped in any way, they're dead if you can't have a Molotov or something.
Yeah, especially if you hunt somebody at the top of the ladder, that's just an insta-down.
I like the ladder. The ladder makes it
it makes it goofy.
It makes you clench your asshole when you're going up there because it's just, you don't know what's going to happen.
So
yeah,
I guess it would be another case of B and C.
Yeah, I think it's higher than the second one though.
So
Yeah,
higher B
I think
tier.
the gas station bit puts it above.
Yeah, you can't. It still blows me away that it doesn't summon a horde when you blow it up.
Yeah.
Compared to everything else in the franchise.
No, just a squeaky.
Just a
Piece of
squeaky
machine
scissor
does.
lift. Now we're moving into Mercy Hospital. I feel like that should be at least an A tier, just for the environment alone.
Agreed. I love the set
Oh, yeah.
dressing.
I love
the zombies in the gowns.
Yeah,
everything
seeing their
about it.
asses out and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw it, like, there's a zombie ass.
It's really good world building too, because like you
Oh,
can
yeah.
find they're talking about the boomer or the special infected.
Yeah,
They
where it
got
was
that.
kind of like hinted at the spitter. There's also
Yeah,
the
it's the-
supposed patient zero room.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
I'm saying for the elevator alone, it's an S just for the amount of funny shit that happens from people falling.
No kidding. Even after the update, years and
Yeah.
years later, people still fall through the floor.
It's brilliant.
And I like the claustrophobic nature of it because you have to go up through the stairs a bunch of times and there's a bunch of rooms you don't know if something's going to pop out. And then there's that large room where you can fall down. It's kind of wide open. It's good for tank spots.
It's the only one that's purely inside, right? Apart from after the elevator.
Yes, I think so. So, I mean, I would say the end of it where you have to be in the construction area, it's no pun intended, it feels a little unfinished. So it feels like that section is good for versus, just for the laughs. Campaign, I feel like it's kind of but it's still cool. All right,
It's also
now.
in Payday 2.
Oh yeah, it is in Payday 2. We got to see Bill and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, now points of contention because finales are going to be a little more debative. The first finale in the series, No Mercy Rooftop. What do you guys think of that one?
I think
Way
it's
too
boring.
small. Yeah, it's way too small.
It's too small, and also getting up there is a pain in the ass, especially in verses.
Yeah,
Because there's
spawning on that map in verse is nightmare.
Yeah, because everyone always goes to the same spot. But I was talking about when you have to get to the roof, go up the ladder, go up another ladder. There's a way you can get charged off. I don't like the way of
Yeah.
getting there.
I think it's the best one.
Oh, you think
I
it's the
like it.
best?
I like it.
The best finale
The
in
best
general?
finale?
Just the vibe of feeling you're stuck on top of the rooftop. Like when I first played this game, I was so scared of even leaving the little safe spot you're supposed to stand at with all the med kits to run to the helicopter.
Mhm.
That was so much stress for me when I was a kid.
I
So
can
I
see
love
it.
this
So that's your number one finale.
for sure.
Okay, so nostalgia aside, I think it's okay, but playing through it, it's like you're just relegated to two spots. There's so much of the map that you just do not touch because
Yeah.
you're just too scared of falling off.
Yeah. I also just don't find it that fun.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the more boring ones
Yeah,
for
100%.
sure.
Mhm.
I really like it for versus. I mean, a good
Yeah.
smoker, the right infected, and you'll be dragging people to places they don't want to be,
Exactly.
and they're gonna freak out.
Especially those pipes leading to that area where everyone always posts up. They always get pulled off there and it turns into hell. Versus wise, yeah, it can turn crazy. A campaign, the only thing I like about it is how you could get the achievement for don't take any damage in the Jesus room. Who could forget the Jesus room?
Oh yeah, I love that.
So what would you guys say? Maybe A, B, F? Not F.
I'd say it's
You're
say
saying
it's
it's
A.
S tier. Oh, you're
I'd
saying it's
say
A. Okay.
I'd say low B.
Yeah,
I
I'd
agree
say
with
low
B.
B.
I'd give it A.
Yeah. How about we do high B, like top of the B tier?
Okay.
I'm fine with it.
Okay. Crash
What's on here?
Course, the very
Oh.
first DLC for all of Left 4 Dead, Crash Course Chapter 1. It's too long. It's both of the chapters
yeah,
are
I was
so
like, I
damn
don't,
long.
Yeah.
I can't remember all of Crash Course. It's way too long for me to remember what the hell happens.
Now I remember the design philosophy for it was made with verses in mind. But if you're making it with verses in mind, why would you make it so long?
Is that the one where you shoot the gun on the bridge?
Yes.
Is that one? That's it.
That's pretty good.
The opening and then the gun part is the most memorable bit. The rest is just walking through generic looking street.
It just looks like Death Toll and No Mercy hybrid, which
It
ironic
really
is between
does.
them, but I can't remember anything about it. Maybe low C.
I mean, I remember the
high
finale.
F?
That's about it.
F. No, it's gotta be
love-
F.
I love the dialogue in the beginning though.
Yeah, where they're talking about the crashed helicopter.
I hate
That's
helicopters.
true.
I mean, I have a lot of fun on this map.
Oh,
Like,
Maybe.
I think F's a little low.
Oh,
My
Lord.
only thing with it
On
is,
top of
on
that.
versus, you rarely finish that map properly.
Yeah,
Very rarely as a
especially getting
survivor.
across that bridge.
You barely even make it there half the time, and if you do, it's because there wasn't a tank.
I think you barely even play it.
Yeah, that's true.
Just
Yeah,
Crash
that
Course is
true.
literally the campaign. You're like, okay, we've played everything else way too many times. I guess we can play
Yeah.
this.
This is the last map of the day, and your brain is fried.
Yeah, it's 2 chapters and we're gonna die fast. But so, how do we feel about the finale for Crash Course?
I just remember Dawn of the Dead bus. and that's it.
Yeah, the Dawn of the Dead
I
bus.
do
That
not
was
like the finale.
dude.
No,
The finale
I
is
like
cool.
the first part.
The first part is cool, but getting there, that's the longest stretch of getting to a finale in the franchise.
And then once you actually
other
start
than-
it, too, doesn't it have that moment where like the generator goes out? Like it feels
Yeah.
really long for a finale.
Yeah, it's the whole generator thing. It feels like it was trying to foreshadow what was going to be in Left 4 Dead 2. Fucking
Yeah, I don't like
generators.
it.
Even the
finale.
finale area, it was just so bland. There wasn't like anything cool going on.
It's just a big room. That was it.
Minus the Dawn of the Dead reference and how you drive out, it's very bland, especially
I
compared to
honestly
other
can't
finales.
even think of a time we've played that map and gone to far in that finale. We always die before even starting it most of the
Either
time.
that or we crash.
And the irony, because it's Crash Course.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just
I
say
didn't-
bottom of F tier for now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're all good, but yeah.
All right, we'll go into Death Toll, the very first chapter where we start at the bridge, and then we just go through a bunch of highway tunnels and stuff. So that opening area with the downed bridge, it's such a clusterfuck that I love it for the beginning of a chapter.
Same.
Especially trying to make that jump. I don't know how many, because you have three different options: take the left ladder, the right ladder, or you go up you try to jump the bridge. I don't know how many times I've downed myself and killed myself trying to make that jump.
But you've got to do it.
And plus the environment of it, I like the blue hue to everything, because every campaign in Left 4 Dead 1 has its own kind of like hue, or not, yeah, campaign has a color hue to it. So this one kind of feels like sad, downtrodden.
It's definitely the most depressing one of them all. It just looks sad.
Yeah. When it comes to after the bridge, is there anything kind of memorable?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
going
the
through
church.
tunnel,
Oh,
I was
oh,
trying to think,
never mind.
like, what even happens, because you go through the tunnel, and then isn't it like you kind of go into a sewer area, and then there's like
It's like a generator room.
Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then there's a crescendo there, right? Where you have to
No,
start
there's
it.
no crescendo. It's just an open room where you jump over a downed guardrail thing and then go out in the open, and there's kind of like a leafy area where there's like a
Oh,
light
okay.
shining on the safe room.
Yeah, there's like a
back
weird
to the-
terrain you have to like crawl up to get to the safe room.
Yeah.
I was just I
Oh
thought it
yeah,
was really
now I
steep.
remember that. Yeah, I do like that area having the weird terrain though, because it does make things a little more challenging.
Oh yeah, especially when you have to get up to the safe room, it can get a little crazy. There's that
Yeah.
side room right by the safe room too.
Yeah, you could just keep going past the safe room.
So maybe I was gonna say A tier, but because the second half it's just kind of I'd say maybe top of B tier.
Middle.
Yeah, like
middle B.
Yeah.
right after the finale of No Mercy.
Yeah.
It starts off good, and then it just don't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the sewer for Death Toll, that that is very interesting because you get like options of where you go most of the way through.
Is that the one where you jump down the big hole?
You open
Right at the
up and there's
beginning.
the giant drainage area, and you can go
Yeah.
forward or right. If you go right, you start from the giant, or you start from the second floor and have to climb down. If you go
Yeah.
forward, you just go down the ramp. Now I like the option of
Pretty
that.
good.
It's definitely
That's what I like
the
about
most, It's definitely the most memorable sewer in the game.
that's the quote of the day: the most memorable sewer.
Yeah. I think it's got to be C.
There is the horde event though, where you call it and you have to wait for the bridge to be lowered. I don't mind that too much, especially because there's the holes that are above you where the specials and commons can come down from, so you don't know what's going to be going on. It is a bit stressful, especially if you get knocked into the poo water.
I think it looks pretty cool seeing the zombies drop down from everywhere.
Yeah,
I don't mind that one.
I do like the horde event, but afterwards it's one of those where there's a lot of the chapters where you remember something and then it's just everyone just kind of mad dashes to the end after it's done. Honestly, thinking about it, it's definitely my second or third favorite in Death Toll.
Our favorite
Yeah, I
sewer.
like it.
Favorite sewer, yeah. For that reason, we're putting it in A tier because it's the best sewer.
If it's going A, it's bottom A.
Bottom A.
There's
Yeah,
nothing, it
bottom
can't
A.
go higher than that.
Yeah,
Low
I
A,
can
I
see.
can deal with that.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I like playing it.
Okay, now what about the church? Because you start off in the train car and there's the whole train yard. You have to go up the ladder, jump off. There's a big open area. Then you eventually get to the church and the streets.
Honestly, I think I would say S or Z.
Yeah, agreed.
It's really good.
I
It's
think-
the most memorable, in my opinion, on the entire Left 4 Dead 1 game.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
That
just the
ending
church
church
event.
is just the fact that you speak to someone and then they turn and you
Into
can
a
hear
special.
it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is god tier.
The church guy is extremely memorable, Left 4 Dead. Honestly, yeah, I'd say it's in the Z tier. But is that above Chapter 1 of No Mercy, though?
I think it is.
Yeah, I think it is.
Put that there. Anybody have any objections?
I don't.
Okay. Now, what about Chapter 4? the town.
Now
I
that
don't remember this
is a
one.
good crescendo because it's so hard.
It is a very hard crescendo. I will say, for what the map is, I thought it would have been more diverse and fun to go through. It's the most forgettable, one of the most forgettable maps for me.
Yeah, I agree.
I do like how urban it is, though.
Yeah, we don't get like the small town urban feeling too much in Left 4 Dead in general.
No.
You either get bumfuck swamps or you get giant cities. And
I
the
agree.
The crescendo, it's either you run through it easily or what the hell is going on when it comes to the
Yeah,
spawns.
it's absolute
Yeah,
chaos.
that's me every time.
Oh, Boomer Bile definitely makes it a lot
Flicker.
easier.
I think C.
Yeah, I was going to
honestly.
say upper C tier because it's not bad,
Yeah.
but there's just a lot of forgetfulness to it. I like the small urban environment.
I
I think
agree. What you said
Coming
about
out
the
the church
crescendo,
is cool.
about it being either you're running through it or being what the hell. It's always what the hell for me. I always get swamped by a billion comments and can't move.
What about the boathouse finale?
Oh, it's a good one.
You start off in the neighborhood, go through a giant open area, go through the woods, and then you're at the finale, so it takes a while to even get there.
Yeah.
I'm glad I
It
came back
is
for that because
fun.
actually this is probably my least favorite. But well, not the least favorite, but I can't stand the whole like we're pretty much dead by the time we get there.
There's too
Yeah,
much
the
lull
walk there
time.
is long, but when you get there, it's a good finale.
Yeah, I
You've
think it's
got a
being
lot of
shortened
options.
just a little bit.
You do have a lot of options, but at the same time, what do you usually end up doing?
Sitting in the house and dying.
You go into the second story, and everyone sits in a corner. Because I remember in Left 4 Dead 1, you'd always sit by the dock because the charger didn't exist, or you'd sit on a certain rock because commons couldn't get you.
Or in that side house because there was no spare.
Yeah, that's true, that side house too. Because honestly, it's one of the biggest finales, but it doesn't feel like it because you don't want to be out in the woods because you feel like you're going to get evil deaded.
It's definitely not my favorite of the holdout finales.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I would just rank it around like C.
Yeah, upper C, like, maybe mid C. Actually, no, it's definitely better than the town. I'll give it that.
Yeah, I would say C is probably a good spot.
Okay.
I do like town more though. I would say I like town a lot more.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Okay, now how about Dead Air? I feel like this is one of the best intros in Left 4 Dead 1. That plane zooming overhead, everyone in the greenhouse, the glass kind of breaking down. And it's a cool showcase in campaign too, because I think you get 4 pipe bombs and 4 Molotovs, and there's just a huge horde in the greenhouse that you can experiment with the grenades with. I think that's really
Yeah.
cool.
I would argue it's a worse No Mercy though. Start.
Oh yeah, because you start off in the building,
On the roof
in
and
the
go
street,
down.
and go into a safe room that's in another big
It's
building.
it's actually shorter than No Mercies.
Is it? I honestly,
Yeah.
it is shorter, but there's so many things that slow you down compared to No Mercy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rooftops where you can just die compared to No
Yeah.
Mercy. It's the beginning that's nice, but honestly, when you get to the second half, I always feel like it peters out, especially when you try to get to the hotel.
I think it's really good for versus just because of how
It's quick.
easily
It's very
you can
quick.
just screw someone up right off the bat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah, I think
I
it's
think top of A.
top of 8.
Yeah.
We're not talking about scavenge. Come on now.
Lord Scavenge. The forgotten stepchild of Left 4 Dead modes. So maybe middle of A tier,
Top.
above sewer, top.
I'd say top.
I don't know. I don't think I like hospital a little more.
Really?
Yeah.
What? It's way better.
Yeah.
Oh, you think so?
Than yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't either. I think.
Okay, we'll go middle. We'll go middle.
Middle. Okay.
We have been outvoted.
Okay. How about the construction yard of Dead Air?
C
yeah.
tier, baby.
Z
I
tier.
love
Oh,
it.
that's
Really?
yeah,
I love it.
dude. That. Honestly, out of all the Left 4 Dead 1 maps, that one feels the absolute longest to me.
Oh yeah. I hate that map. It takes so long. You start out and then you go across a fence, you go up some fire escape into a building, then you go out onto like a rooftop. There's
Oh,
the crane that you have
yeah,
to
never
wait
mind.
for that,
That
to come
fucking
down.
crane, man. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
And then you have to go through 2 floors of the office just
3
to get to the
floors.
bottom, and it's just it's free, and it's so long.
Yeah.
Dude, those
They always throw a
offices.
tank right at the end too.
No,
Yeah, always.
the tanks in
always.
the offices,
Okay,
it
yeah.
scares the shit out
office
of me.
part
man.
I don't like.
Well, it's that too, and when you're trying to go through the office, it's you try to jump over stuff, but you get caught on a chair, and you're sitting there just jumping like a jackrabbit, and the comments are just
Yep.
smacking you in the ass because of it. The office definitely brings it down. I do like leading up to the or getting to the rooftop where the crane lowers. I feel like once the crane starts, that's where my motivation goes from like 99 to 53.
There's no real safety even after the crescendo is done because you're still on a rooftop. You can still be insta-killed multiple ways.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. I was thinking of a totally different map. Holy
No,
this entire time. I'm like, what crane are you talking about? And then I just finally realized.
Yeah, Kyle Crane from Dying Light.
I like it.
Top B, maybe.
I would say like mid
Sodomy.
B. Sodomy. What?
Bottom A.
I thought you said sodomy. I was like, what? You resorted to sodomy over this one. Bottom A, okay.
I would say bottom A.
Bottom A, okay.
I mean, yeah, if that's the sense of. Yeah, we'll go there.
Honestly,
I was thinking top B.
I was thinking mid B, just because of how long it is.
I agree. Mid B would be because
Yeah.
the start good and then it really sucks towards the end.
If it was a
Really
finale,
contentious.
I wouldn't like it. It'd be way too long. But being the middle of a campaign, I think especially during versus, it's great for, two teams going against each other, see how far you get.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
How about
mid B.
Let's do upper B, but not as good as No Mercy's finale.
Okay.
Why don't we just delete it?
Just make it a 4-chapter campaign.
Just throw it off the map. I think it's fine there. I don't have an opinion on it really, because I
Alright.
didn't even know what we're talking about half the time. To now.
Only reason I ranked it so high is because I barely played versus.
Okay.
I would know the struggle with the choke points like that.
What about
Next
chapter
one.
3 for Dead Air? I think that's the construct. I don't know what I'm trying to remember the names
Yeah,
of it. I should have labeled them.
construction.
Okay. I'm not a big fan of this one.
No, never mind.
Because you start off in the storage, you go to the left. You could go to the right and just fuck over your team because you want to get pills from one storage facility. And then you go out and there's the Horde event, which it's not too bad because you
It doesn't
shoot
make
the gas
any
can.
sense.
It doesn't.
I think the second
You
half of this map is better than the first half.
Honestly, if it was just the second half, I feel like it would be way better. I hate getting through the construction area.
Me too.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense
Yeah.
that zombies just turn into cavemen like fire. Like, why are they doing that?
I don't like that it's a crescendo.
Yeah.
Or you mean a
Yeah,
Horde
the-
event?
Or a horde, yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta wait for the fire to burn out.
This whole level kind of feels like filler. Like just
It
getting to the
does.
airport already.
Yeah, it feels like they wanted to make all Left 4 Dead 1 maps at first were 5 chapters, so this feels like it was filler, definitely. Honestly, I'd say bottom of C. It's not
Yeah.
horrible, but if you like trim to the fat, because I like the second half where you go through the parking garage and you get close to
like
the
that too.
airport. That is cool.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the airport, what about the airport? Because it's kind of like in the same vein as No Mercy, where the 4th chapter is the giant building you've been striving to get to the whole time, and so it takes up most of the map, or is the entirety of the map, I should say.
So the only other chapter that also takes place 100% indoors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right as we're talking about it. Comparatively to the hospital, I don't like how... Because you
I
see
don't
the
like
giant
it.
open area, and then you just have to go through the office, and then you turn on the van, and that's where it's a crescendo, and most of the map is just running and screaming at each other.
Yeah, it's just
Especially
running
what
to
happened
another.
last time we played. Holy
event.
shit.
God damn.
That last part's shit. It's
Two minds.
so much.
Playing it as a campaign, just in campaign, I like it a lot. But
Yeah.
in versus, I don't really like it.
That endless crescendo at the end is
Well, it's
pain
not
in the
only
ass
that,
as
is
well.
you do the van, and then you feel like you're breathing, and then when they updated it to Left 4 Dead 2, there's the metal detector. They made it in Left 4 Dead 2 where you're forced to go through it, so you have to do 2 crescendo events in the same fucking chapter.
basically
Yeah, wasn't the first one as
well.
like if you go through it, it would happen?
Yeah,
But you
it
didn't
was
have to.
optional, but they force you to do it in 2.
Yeah, it's back to back. You don't have much time. There's not many supplies on that map either.
But I feel like it's fine because in between the safe room and the first, like the van,
Mm-hmm.
it takes like 30 seconds to get there. It's
Yeah.
super quick.
Yeah.
I think the airport itself kind of just like understays its welcome.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
only like 2 out of the how many 5 or 6 of the levels like actually have the airport.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
basically just the one, honestly, because even the last finale, you're not in it anymore. You're outside.
Right, but I mean it's still the airport.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
oh,
time.
yeah.
But it's kind of like when I was bringing up No Mercy. You spend all that time getting to the hospital. You're building up expectations. You get there. No Mercy, you get to spend your time. You're like, oh, look at all the lore. Oh, this is cool. This is claustrophobic. Dead Air, it's like, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. It's like an actual
Yeah,
airport
exactly.
where it's like, come on, go, go, go. So, honestly, I'd say top of C, to be honest. Or, no, it's not better than Boathouse finale, though, is it?
No, probably not.
I'll be honest, I like Streets more than it.
Honestly, yeah.
You know,
Streets
I
is
actually
fun.
think I agree.
Yeah, because thinking of Streets, you also start from the top of the church and you get to
Yeah.
explore buildings and stuff. So yeah, screw it, put airport behind it.
You get to snipe from the church too, which is cool.
Yeah, that is always fun. Honestly,
Uh-huh.
just do that. What about the Dead Air finale? I love the finale.
The plane crash is definitely what did it.
This can be the best time you ever have on a finale, or the fucking worst.
Nah, that's true.
There is no in between.
Yeah, because you could have all the good luck, nothing spawns, nothing's hitting you, or everything hits you all at once.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
And it doesn't matter
But it is
where
a
you
lot
are.
of fun.
There's a lot of parts of the map too where it's like I'm not going to go anywhere near there. Where you climb upstairs to get one supply and you never go there again.
On Left 4 Dead 1, I'd always stand on the wing of the plane.
Oh yeah, because you couldn't. Yeah, risking a smoker there.
I honestly think it's the most fun to play as a tank on that finale.
That is
I was
a very
just
fun.
thinking that the tank fights
You
in Carnival
have-
are pretty fun on this one.
You have so many options as tank with all the like hittables to just yeet at people.
Oh yeah,
It's
the,
a lot of fun.
The luggage carts.
Luggage cars, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
a
just
lot
with
of
the
fun.
other infected, I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah, you're spawning and it's like you can spawn behind a car, but everyone gets on top of shit and you just can't do
Yeah.
anything. I feel like the bot infected have that same issue. It's kind of like what Dark was saying, where it's honestly probably the easiest finale for campaign.
Yeah, probably.
Honestly, I'd say maybe high B.
Yeah,
The challenge isn't there and it's very hit or miss.
Is that the No
Yeah.
Mercy finale above it?
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say it's better than that.
I agree.
Yeah, I could say it's definitely better than that.
Sorry, Murmur.
What?
How
No
fucking dare
way.
you.
Oh,
I disagree with this hardcore.
Honestly, I think they're tied. I think the real reason why I really like Dead Airs or whatever the hell
More
we're doing
fun. I
finale.
think Dead Airs is more fun.
I like the plane crash. I like watching it every single time. Even when I'm playing versus with y'all, I will stand there and stare at it.
But I think you have more freedom with half the map on No Mercy than you do with the
What?
what it's
I
like
feel
more
like-
diverse with that first half.
You are forced to be around the gas tank truck or in a corner somewhere. It's like any
Yeah.
other spot, and it's just like you're gonna die. With how versatile and how different the runs of No Mercy can be, I think it should be above it.
But every
No Mercy
ending of
should be-
No Mercy is the same.
Yeah, like the finale, it just feels like the same thing.
Mhm.
Never
Yeah,
something
it's
like that.
always the same.
I'd still say Dead Air is better. So let's
I
put it
agree.
up to a vote. There's 6 of us. Chago, what do you vote?
Yeah, it's better than No Mercy.
Okay, I say it's better than No Mercy of Dead Air 2. What about you, Dark?
I think. But I also want to say that No Mercy does have like the verticality bonus.
Yeah. Okay, TK, what about you?
Dead Air all the way.
All right, there's 3. I know. Okay, what about you, Nano? You said No Mercy, right?
Yes, sir.
I already know Murmur is No Mercy, right? So
Yeah, I was gonna go back to Dead Air, but then I saw how much Nano was fighting for it, and I was like, you know what, you're fucking right. I'm staying No Mercy.
contrarian. All right, so Dark Games, it comes down to your vote, my boy. Are we doing a tiebreaker, or are you voting for the 4?
Like I said, I think Dead Air.
Dead
is
Air.
better.
Let's go.
Come on.
Yeah.
Very well.
All right, now we're getting to the end of Left 4 Dead 1, Blood Harvest, Chapter 1.
I think the only thing I remember is that bridge right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hey.
Bridge is super cool though.
I will say Valve did a
That's
great job
the
of
best part.
choosing the best parts of every chapter for the icon image.
Thumbnail. Yeah.
Besides that, it just
See?
It's pretty short.
it's
I
short.
like
It's a
the
minute.
vegetation against you. You have to really listen out for what's behind the vegetation and the trees and stuff.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
the
I
trees
agree.
really make it scary if you don't know what's going to be popping out. Honestly, yeah, there's no other chapters besides I guess this Death Toll Chapter 1 that really has that.
I just think once you get past the bridge, it's a cakewalk.
I'd say middle of
I
the
would just say
movie.
it's honestly C, because I swear I think
Yeah,
the
I don't-
only thing that's good about it is that bridge.
Yeah.
I
I do
definitely
like
don't think it's
all
better
the
than
lower, but
Streets.
that's it.
Low C. There's no way.
Yeah, there's no way it's better than Streets, I feel like.
No.
Or
Mm-mm.
Boathouse
Or the
finale.
finale. No.
It's better than Airport. Yeah, I'd say it's better than Airport.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Okay, now, so this is the warehouse, I think is what it's called. Because you start off, you're closed up, then there's the train warehouse, and then you have to open up the door where it's a crescendo event, or a horde event.
Yep.
And that usually turns into everyone running for themselves.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
just run
that's
down
just
like a
pretty
tunnel,
raw.
right? Right
Yeah.
to the safe room?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, I don't know.
I
Nothing
take it
goes
back.
And
wrong.
there's usually a
This-
tank that spawns right out the door.
This was the one that broke my TV.
That is the one I remember because you climbed
This
the
is the
pipes to get around, and
Yep.
I was trying to touch you with my med kit, and you had the witch on you. Yeah.
I saved your ass and died and broke TV because of it.
Well, you almost broke your phone.
Yeah, many things nearly went wrong.
I'd say there's not much to it that I'm like,
There isn't.
because when I
It's
think of
just
Blood
the
Harvest,
warehouse, pretty
I
much.
think of the first, fourth, and fifth map. So I'd say it's bottom of C. Maybe it's
I
not
could
better
argue F.
than F.
Yeah. I honestly don't like this.
This map and the finale are what I think of when I think of this whole campaign.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I always think of the wooded areas. This one has probably the least wooded areas, in my opinion.
This
one's
one,
really forgettable.
this one is so forgettable.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's F though. I mean, maybe bottom of C.
It's either like the absolute bottom of C or F.
Wow.
What?
Okay.
Nano, to say that this is your most memorable. The opening area, sure, but after you open that door, it's a blur in my brain.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
short level.
it's a very
in
short
general.
level,
It's
but
really short.
if you're playing campaign, it's not the worst thing. But it's like I
No.
said, it's the second half. I don't remember shit except for when you go over the fuel tanker and you go inside that room, the safe room.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm good with this.
Bottom C.
Yeah, I like it.
Chapter 4. So you start off in the tunnels, you go out and you go out in the wide open, and there's the cliff, and then you go in, you go to a small tunneled area, you go back out in the open. There's the cabin, then you have to destroy the bridge with the train, which is the most obnoxious thing I've seen the survivors do in Left 4 Dead 1. I won't say Left 4 Dead 2 because they blow up a fucking truck for soda. We'll get to that later. We need to get up this cliff. Let's destroy a bridge with the train. That's so funny to me because that epitomizes Left 4 Dead in my opinion.
You would never think about that, like, at that moment in real life. There's like, oh yeah, these two things correlate. Let's do this.
Yeah, but it's so obnoxious. I
Yeah, and the
love
bridge just perfectly falls down.
it. Like a staircase.
Yeah.
But
It's fun, though.
It is a really crazy
fun
like
one.
movie moment.
Yeah.
in Left 4 Dead 1.
I think the starting area is quite cool as well, how it's all, like, in the tunnels. It's very claustrophobic because it's just one hallway.
but then you go out and it's just this giant wide open area.
Yeah.
There's a lot more going on. They had a lot of creative liberties. I'd say it's high B.
Yeah.
Maybe even better than
Not
the
above the finale.
No?
No.
That's definitely better than the construction.
Not
Yeah.
Alright, so let's go to the actual train yard. I'm trying to remember how this one starts. I
Oh,
think
God,
it's...
how does this one start?
No, you open it and there's a barn.
It's the bot. Yeah.
There's a barn, you can go up it, drop down, and then there's a drop-off cliff to the train
Yeah.
thing. You go through and then...
yeah.
I hate that house on the cliff. I hate
I
that
get that.
because I go in there every time thinking that's the way through, and it's not.
I think that's just clever. It's like
Yeah.
the game is trolling you.
Yeah,
You know?
that's
It knows
true.
what it's doing.
But
That other house as well was very memorable with the lawnmower. Yeah.
yeah, that's probably one of my favorite pieces of environmental storytelling to do in the first game.
100%.
Like, what Evil
Toward the
Dead
end.
shit happened in here? Honestly, it probably would have been better if they did what they did with the Blood Harvest finale, is adding crows, and that would be a visual indicator. But, yeah, honestly, I don't think there's too many bad aspects to it.
I'm thinking high C.
High C? Oh,
Yeah.
You thirsty? You're
Hey.
thinking A. Ooh.
I love this.
Wow.
I do like it a lot, too. There's a lot of good moving parts to it.
Yeah, again, I don't really play versus, so most of what I'm saying is like.
Oh, yeah, campaign, it's great.
I can't say it's better than construction. Back
I
this
would
one.
honestly say it's like lower B.
Lower B?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe even like kind of higher C. I don't know. I feel like there's. If you think about it, we all thought about this chapter, and none of us could remember it.
That's true. The opening we couldn't remember at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's the middle and end part. So maybe
I would say below construction.
So right about there, middle B.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Now, Blood Harvest finale. It has the same issue as Death Toll's finale, where it's obnoxious getting to, but it's even worse because there's the potential for an insta kill because of the cliff there. You have the long way to get to the train. You climb it up. There's a big chance of a witch spawning there, and then there's a cliff where somebody could be pinned and they're dead. You go through the field. There's some crows that go off, and you have a horde to deal with in a giant open area, and then you get to it. Then you get to the finale.
I like the cornfield.
The cornfield's cool. I won't deny that.
It is cool. Yeah.
I just don't like
It's memorable. I really don't like this finale. I'll be honest.
I don't mind it. It just
I don't know
feels-
how I feel about it.
It feels like
I like
the
the
Death
house.
Toll boathouse is now just in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
There's a lot of strategies for holding out in this one,
I
but
like
there's
them
only
all.
one exploit that I'm aware of where you could like sit on the window and then the common infected can't reach you.
Yeah,
But
there
I do like
was-
emptying in the barn or the house, or you could camp near where the car is like first gonna come in through.
Yeah.
That's a good spot.
That is a good
I
spot.
do like that. I like that there's a variety of viable good holdout spots.
There's like that shed or like second barn, like the smaller one.
Yeah.
And I like how the enemies are able to like break through the walls. That's a good
Yeah.
detail.
There's a lot of the walls that can break inside the house too. That's gotten us a few times.
Yeah.
I do like that they made a lot of the walls destructible. It's a very diverse and kind of fluid campaign. I feel like I'm just saying a lot of jargon words to make myself sound smarter.
I think it has the coolest escape vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hell, it goes into the comics too. Honestly, I'd say it's
No.
Not A tier.
No. The beginning is a nightmare.
Oh yeah, well true. The beginning does kind of bring it down a bit.
Yeah. It's got to be lower than Death Toll.
So, what are we gonna put Blood Harvest?
I
honestly think it's
fine.
if it wasn't for the first half, I would say it would be an A tier. I love the area in which the finale's in, but it's just the lead up to it. It's a fucking nightmare.
It can't be above Death Toll. It just can't be.
Sure it can.
Well, it could, yeah, but I don't think it should.
I completely agree. I think Death Toll's better.
Oh, okay. Okay, we got 2 votes for Death Toll. What about Nano, Murmur, Dart? What do you think?
I think it's good wherever you're going to put it.
Okay, so
Because it's not that, the whole campaign, I
3
just don't really care
neutrals,
for it.
2 Death Tolls, and 1 Blood Harvest. So
I do
fine.
like finales where things can go wrong and you can lose a member.
Okay, so we're getting back into DLC territory. The last Left 4 Dead 1 DLC, Sacrifice, the very first chapter.
This is
It's
a
good.
cool map. I like this map.
It is really cool.
I love the lore in this map. Like, just the voice lines are amplified. Like, they talk all the time.
I think it's got to be a C.
Yeah, it feels like they were trying to counteract because Left 4 Dead 1, they didn't talk too much. And they're like, okay, we're going to fix that, rectify it, and have them talk a bunch. Especially because this came on the heels after the Sacrifice comics. And then there's the train.
Level that has, like, the exploding barrels.
Yeah, the exploding barrels those are fun to shoot.
Yeah,
But
this has got to be Z to 100%.
the coolest thing is the tank inside the train car. I think it's one of the only set
Exactly.
tank spawns. And the fact that you also have the lore of there was a normal person in there and they mutated into a tank, and you could see that he just obliterated everyone else in there.
Yeah. The image in your head of that alone is just wild.
Hot.
It's hot.
Hot? Did you say hot?
I will say everything leading up to it, I like the boat out yard and then going under the bridge, going through the buildings. I feel like after the tank, it does kind of peter out though, because the second half of the chapter,
Train yard, isn't it?
It's
in the
another
train yard, isn't it?
it's like a brick factory.
Yeah.
So bottom of Z or top of A?
Top A. I was going to say Z just for the tank moment, but you talked me out of it.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Top of A is not bad. Chapter 2, The Sacrifice, the Barge.
I don't like this map.
Because you go, there's the brick area, and then you go past the fence where you could fall in the water, and then there's this giant wide open area with the small building. Go through the building, there's a bunch of other buildings, go up the hill. That hill is such, I hate going up that hill.
I hate that hill.
Yeah, that hill.
F.
As a survivor, none of that part is fun. So what do you guys think? I'm not a big fan of this chapter.
I back the F.
F tier?
I can back that.
I want to go that low.
I was being
Really?
hyperbolic with the saying F. I'd put it in a solid C.
Bottom of C, maybe
I would say
past
it's the bottom of
factory?
C, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is fun on versus. I mean, either way, if you're playing a versus and you get to that hill, you're gonna have fun at some point.
I
The
like
first
how
half is
Crash
fun,
Course.
though.
I like how you actually get to see like all these businesses and stuff, like these blue collar businesses, and
True.
there's like an industrial aspect to it that I like.
Honestly, I think it's better than this map.
That is fair.
Fair.
Okay, now what about the sacrifice finale, the ending for our Left 4 Dead 1 survivors?
I think it's got to be C.
It's very
It's
iconic.
so memorable.
Hell,
It is.
Dark came, because you've worked with this one a bunch. You know all about the sacrifice and the passing.
Well, I do think that the finale is better. But, like, that's my bias being a campaign player, because I could feel like you guys being in versus, you probably hate the passing finale.
Oh, I'm just biased because I hate gas cans, but the passing, you do get the Left 4 Dead 1 survivors giving you backup, so it does make it like, this is 7v whatever, so that is cool.
Yeah.
Versus you don't get that. I like the sacrifice because you get to choose your pace of how the tanks spawn. Because you could be like, okay, let's start one generator, we'll get rid of one tank, or let's start all 3 and we'll just do back-to-back-to-back tanks. I kind of like that you get options.
I
Having too
think
much
it
fun.
definitely shouldn't be anything lower than B, just because of how unique it is at the end.
Yeah, it's
This-
definitely the most
You
unique
have to
finale.
sacrifice somebody.
I really like this one. I mean, it's the thing of like, it was so nice they did it twice, you know? It's so good.
It's really good. Honestly, I'd say it's bottom of Z.
I can back that.
Lore-wise, I
I
think
would
it's the
argue.
most rich in this series. Okay, now we're going into Left 4 Dead 2, Dead Center Chapter 1. I feel like it's the best showcase of getting into from 1 to 2, because the biggest addition was doing melee weapons because that was sorely needed. And it's a claustrophobic map where you can use melees or you can go to pistols in case you're going against boomers. This is probably the map I will argue the most for Versus. It's the most god-awful fun map to play for me on Versus because anything can happen.
Yep.
I don't hate it because if you get insta-killed, it's just funny.
It's the only map where it feels like, yeah, okay, fair enough. Because most of the time it's because you have messed up somehow.
Yeah. And plus, just getting to the elevator and then it feels like a whole different chapter when you get to the bottom floor where everything's fired up and smoky. I love that. Honestly, I'd say it's not Z tier, but I'd say it's definitely top of A.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, chapter 2, the streets. Got to get to the mall.
God, this is a long chapter.
It really is a long.
I only like really till you get to the gun store is probably my favorite part.
Yeah.
That's
Gun stores
Because that's
I
a
love
good
it.
way to show
I
you
love
every
it.
single weapon in the game.
Well, yeah, I guess. But it's just like you're guaranteed tier 2 weapons and laser sights. I mean, of course you would, but I don't know. Just like compared to everything else, it's not like you ever get guaranteed laser sights like that.
Yeah, because Dead Center is kind of like the showcase campaign where we have to show everything that we've added, except the grenade launcher. It should have been a grenade launcher that set spawn there, but that's just me. Why do we need to get Coke? Because he's going to blow up the truck to clear the way. It's the most ridiculous thing that survivors do in the series to just progress, and I love that for what it is. I think the first half, it's like what Murmur said, when you get to the gun store and forward, it's fun. But it's just the winding areas of cutting through a bunch of stuff, going down the streets, cutting through a building, going down, cutting through another building. I feel like it is just kind of mid leading up to that point. So I'd say maybe top of B, like under the finales, or maybe even better than, not better than the finales.
Yeah, and
I agree with where it's placed.
Yeah. I don't think the gun
I'm
store
okay with
carries
that.
it to be better.
Okay, what about the mall?
I like the mall, but I feel like it could have been a lot more. I feel like it's so empty and so barren. I
Yeah.
feel like it could have been way cooler. It just feels very dark and very empty.
Yes, because they did the context of it's under construction, that's why it's so empty. But at the same time, it's like coming off the heels of Dead Rising. It's basically off the heels of that, and then you see the game is completely set in the mall and how diverse it is. You're expecting to go there, and it's just run from point A to point B, and then you have a crescendo.
Yeah, I would expect to look around a little bit more at the environment, and I don't really find myself doing that.
Yeah.
Just kind of running through.
it feels like a lot of missed storytelling as well, environmental story.
Yeah,
So
because
barren.
Yeah.
we played
It's like
through...
Zach, remember that mod we played?
Yeah.
Cold Front. Yeah, well, that's what I was about to bring up. That mall is what Dead Center should have been.
Yeah, that mall is awesome.
Yeah, it feels like a giant missed opportunity with the mall.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I'd say it's top of C.
Really?
Maybe, no.
I'd say low B.
Low B?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could get behind where it is right now.
Oh, lower B?
Well, not lower B, but if you go above a 2.
Oh, like right here or right there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I could see it. Yeah, somewhere right about here.
But yeah, ahead of the sewer, but not ahead of the start of, what's his name?
Okay,
Yeah.
I can see that. Now this is where we get into different mode, though, is the finale for Dead Center.
Jimmy Gibbs.
I like the concept of fueling up a car, but why are there cans everywhere in a fucking mall?
It's true.
That doesn't matter. That cannot be your reason to like.
No,
that is.
I'm just talking about the consistency of it. It doesn't make sense. F tier.
It doesn't make sense. It's a video game.
I personally hate scavenge. It's interesting, especially in verses where the spitter can blow up the cans.
You know, and they probably knew that, and that's why they're like, well, if you want to play this map, you're going to fucking play Scavenge. Or what? So you better get used to it.
It's an iconic map.
It's a nail biter.
Yeah, it's definitely a
The
nail biter.
idea that there is a special zombie that you can only see very rarely with the Jimmy Gibbs one.
True. I think it's like
That
1 in
makes it
10,000 chance.
awesome.
I do like how coordinated everyone gets, because I don't think there's any more coordination than that finale makes for people.
No,
and
if
that
you
kind of
don't
breaks the
coordinate, you
whole
die.
hunkering down in one spot and just blasting in a corner.
It's a very active finale. You can't just sit
And
around.
the fact that spitters can blow that shit up is amazing.
I'm saying A.
For the showcase of a new mode and trying to diversify the finales, I think they did a really good job.
I'd say bottom Z.
Bottom Z.
I agree with that.
I can agree.
I think it's good there. It's not my favorite campaign, but I will say the finale is definitely different.
Now, when it comes to separate ideas, the passing, it had the Left 4 Dead 1 survivors come up, but it also had those, you remember the crates where it had infinite pills, grenades and stuff? Never popped up.
Yeah.
It was kind of a cool idea, but
This also added the M60 in the golf club, right?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't like the M60 because I feel like it runs out too fast. I think it should be 200, 250, but that's a whole other thing when it comes
The
to
wedding
Xbox.
set piece as well is really
It's
cool.
cheaper.
The wedding is cool. And the fact that we get a witch in a different outfit.
The passing
Yeah.
has my favorite vibe of like any of the campaigns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really does for all the Left 4 Dead 2 stuff. It feels depressing.
And the midnight. Is it the Midnight Riders bus that drives through this campaign?
Yeah, there's a chance of it spawning in the second chapter.
Remember when that first happened? It scared the absolute shit out of me.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
loud
so
as
loud.
hell.
I think it's A, honestly.
I'd say it's in the B's.
Really?
It's like it's like one of those instances that has good set pieces and new ideas, but it's the winding area and then getting through the building and getting up to that part. It's kind of cool, but then you have the 2 car alarms as well. But yeah, I'd say, I don't know, B's.
Okay. Mid B?
I agree with the mid B.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'd say it's below
F.
the streets, but above the Blood Harvest.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay, now what about passing chapter 2, where you start off and there's the tattoo parlor, you go into the water area, go up the 3-story building, go down a 3-story building, go through the water tour, under the river tour.
I like the street part.
The street part's fun.
And then we're back to sewer again.
Yeah, I like it. It's kind of like a purple theme. Yeah, like more sewers.
Man, I barely remember this whole chapter.
The main takeaway is I like the beginning, but God, I think out of all the crescendo events in Left 4 Dead, I hate this one because you're in shit water, trudging through it, and I feel like the commons are just 4 times out of any horde. They just keep coming.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're
You
wanting to use
can't
a
really
molly,
see that far down there, can you?
No, it's pitch dark going through, so you can't see the horde coming too well. Honestly, I think the first half kind of carries it, and then it just falls off.
See?
Yeah, I'd say it's like middle of the top C. Like it's honestly, it feels like Streets of Death Toll, but longer.
Yeah.
It's just that with the coat of purple put over it.
Yeah.
Now we were talking Dark. You were talking about the passing finale being better than the sacrifice finale.
Yeah. I like Scavenge. Like, I unironically like Scavenge.
I agree. I like it better.
And I do like the fact about, I'll never forget when I was in high school and they announced it, I was on the wiki reading over and over again just how cool the passing DLC is going to be. And I was hypothesizing, oh, is it going to be 8v8? They're going to make 8v8 versus. I was freaking out. I was very excited about the passing DLC. And then the fact that it's the only time in the series you get bots that actually help you outside the core 4. And so it's cool that they're up there helping. And they throw you supplies and stuff. But there is also the risk that if you stray away from them, because it's a large ass map to get gas cans, and they can't help you if you're too far off. So there's like a risk versus reward thing.
Added risk to it.
So yeah, honestly, I'd say it's in the Z tier as well, but better or worse than the sacrifice?
I think it's better than the sacrifice.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's long though. And the gas cans is long.
I think it boils down to, do you like gas cans or not?
I
But
do like the gas cans.
I think
what pushes it over for me is that the other survivors are there helping.
yeah, I think I can agree with that.
That was my Avengers Endgame back in 2009, 2010. So yeah, I could see that. Okay, now
Yeah.
Dark Carnival, the first chapter. Honestly, I think it's one of my favorite first chapters.
For sure. I would agree.
I hate it.
Do you hate it?
Same.
I hate
Yes.
the first chapter.
I love the first chapter. The Walking Dead-esque highway.
It's so
getting up there.
long.
I feel like a lot of people hate Dark Carnival just because it's so overplayed. Like, a lot of people are always going to insist, like, we're going to play Dark Carnival.
Yeah, that's
I-
true.
That's probably it, because when it comes to verses, the first chapter is my least favorite chapter.
I don't know. I like the cars leading up to it, and then you can jump over, go through the billboard. You have options of where you go through. You go through the hotel, down the hill. That hill is funny as hell.
Yeah, I love that hill. I love my bee hops.
Yeah, there's a lot of room to be hop in that. And then you go up the hill. There's a lot of diversity to that map that I like. I don't know. I'd say it's like middle of A tier, but I feel like a couple of you don't hold that same regard.
I love it. I think it's great. Like you said, I love the highway. I think it's super cool running down it, fighting all the zombies, going to the hotel. Love it. You know, a few different paths that you can go down. The water doesn't bother me at all. And then you got the car alarm right before the safe room. Sometimes can be a little annoying, but
That
I
one
enjoy
always
it.
gets set off when I play.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's because of you.
Oh, whatever. Don't give me that
Yeah,
shit.
whatever. You shoot it every single
It
time.
is L every time.
Okay, yeah, we'll see. You know
I'm
what?
okay with it where it is.
Yeah, I think it's better than the Dead Air intro.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, Whispering Oaks. Shit, I used to go there when I was a kid.
See,
Z.
I like that one better than chapter 1.
I think it's C. It's so memorable. Z.
There's a lot of memorable parts to it. You go through the front entrance, there's the shooting gallery where you can get the gnome. You go through again, there's the middle part, then you get to Kittyland. Go down the giant slide going through the top. You go through the merry-go-rounds. There's a lot of ideas that they executed pretty well
It's so
through
good.
it.
The crescendo is like one of the easiest, I think.
It is
Yeah.
definitely one of the
Like you
easiest.
can shut it off so quick, yeah.
Yeah, as long as you can get from out of the awning, it's easy street. Honestly, yeah, I'd say it's Z tier too. Honestly,
I think it's better than the finale.
which finale? There's
Yeah.
a lot of finales up here.
No, there's not. Oh, well, yeah. Okay, better than the Dead Center finale.
Honestly, I can agree with that. That's honestly one of the most iconic looking areas of it too. Now, what do we feel about Chapter 3, where you have to go through the Tunnel of Love for the first half, and then go to the coaster?
So that just gives me another. I feel like that's like their own unique version of a sewer.
Yeah, it really
sort of.
is.
To me,
It's the sewer
yeah.
of love.
Yeah, kinda.
I like the way it looks, but in verses for me, I don't care for it.
I don't like
Agreed.
the Tunnel of Love area.
I don't either.
But it sucks because I love the roller coaster.
Yeah, the roller coaster is so good.
The aesthetic of the
I would
Tunnel of
say
Love is
they-
cool, but it's the most linear experience in Left 4 Dead to me, and there's not
They-
much room. But the coaster, I love the coaster part.
Yeah, the coaster's really fun.
Too.
It is pure panic.
Honestly, the coaster, I feel like it would be B, but because of the Tunnel of Love, I'd say high C.
I've met a lot of people who hate the coaster. Like, it's like
Really?
their least favorite. And I can see why, because it is pretty difficult.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's hectic as anything.
I don't know if it should be C though. Maybe bottom of B.
Yeah, bottom of B, because the roller coaster, that's what it emphasizes here. At the same time, Tunnel of Love, we'll just say it would have been B high, but Tunnel of Love drags it all the way down.
Maybe, honestly, they should have split this into two. You do the Tunnel of Love, Safe House, and then the coaster.
The
Isn't that
coaster,
what they initially were supposed to do? Like, I think Chapter 2 is initially supposed to go through the Tunnel of Love. Because you can still find, I think, like an old
That's
safe
right,
room.
yeah.
It's still there. So I think that's where it was supposed to end.
Yeah, I think it
like,
was.
Yeah,
the
that
end
would have
of
been
Tunnel of
cool.
Love.
So how about Chapter 4, the Barns? I think this is the most forgettable Dark Carnival map for me.
This map is frustrating
This
as
one's even
anything.
harder than the coaster.
Yeah, the crescendo at the end, it's... Honestly, I was talking about the passings crescendo, but the Barns crescendo... Because I think the passing ends, but the Barns never ends.
Is it not?
I don't think so.
No, the one that
Oh,
go into the
God.
safe room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that never ends. It's insane. And
Yeah,
on
that's
Versus,
why
it's
that map
pretty
is
tough.
frustrating.
Oh, it's very tough on versus.
Yeah.
Well, then it's just getting to the point because you go out in the open, there's the bang a gong. What's the test your strength thing? Which, that's
Yeah.
fun. Is if you're a tank, that's fun to hit. It's just going into the barns and going on top of them. There's an open area. It's a fun tank arena, but
Yeah, there's a lot of minigame things you can play in there, which is cool.
yeah, the mini games are fun. But I feel like they blew
But I think
their-
once you hit the barns, it's kind of like
Yeah, it feels like they blew all their idea load on Chapter 2, and they're like, let's just throw the scraps in Chapter 4. So, I don't know. I'd say it's honestly either bottom of C or F for me.
F seems harsh.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go that low.
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad. Like I said, I think the first tiny bit is good, and then, well, like, until you hit the barn.
I feel like, you know what? I like it better than the airport in these three.
High C. And that's where I would put it.
I think it's high C, but below Death Toll.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the passing town. What do you guys think? Below or above the passing?
I like it more than the passing.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. I was telling them before all of this, there was a certain chapter where I was going to cause a lot of shit. So, Dark Carnival, the finale, I think it is, gameplay-wise, the worst finale in Left 4 Dead 2.
I agree.
Agreed. I hate playing versus on this freaking map. I hate being any infected, any of them at all.
It's just not fun. Yeah, because I like rock music. There's a bunch of hairy dudes on stage playing old rock music, like there's ZZ Top and shit. Yeah, it's cool. You get the guitars, you get to set the stage. Dark Carnival remix does it
here
way
just for
better.
that.
Yeah, but when it comes to gameplay, it's a giant rectangle with a bunch of fireworks, and you go to two spots. But it's literally, no matter where you go, it feels like the same map when you're in the bleachers. And in the original version, on the Xbox version, there is a set grenade launcher spawn. And it's hurts me to say, for something where I can always get a grenade launcher, I still think it's the worst finale.
I think it's the coolest, like, set.
Oh yeah,
think it's the best.
aesthetically.
Visually, yeah, aesthetically, but
But TK, what are you gonna argue about this?
I just love it.
I
I
do too.
can't
I
help
actually do.
it.
I love this finale. I think it's great.
disagree so much on the gameplay. I feel like the music it adds everything to that gameplay. It makes you want to do more than just sit in a corner. You know, you're sort of pumping to the music, just killing zombies. That is such. For me personally, I've always liked that about Call of Duty as well, getting the Easter eggs on and then just going on a tear. It's just so much fun. So
Yeah, you get the
I hate
fireworks
putting it
too.
low. Yeah, exactly.
The fireworks
It's
are fun.
such a good finale. It's better than just sitting there in silence mowing down zombies.
It's fun, but like I said, gameplay-wise, besides the synapses in your brain going, yeah, I like the sounds, it feels like it was another one of those where they could have added more. Where
I think the idea is to sit on the stage. That's how they designed it, in my opinion, because everything is on the stage, mainly. Yeah. I think the bleachers and, like, is more fully infected than it is the survivors. I think it's like the idea of you sitting on a stage and having the crowd rush towards you. Not below A. Not below A, I swear down.
Okay,
no!
Down? Okay. For the aesthetics
like
and what they execute, I'd say it's low B.
It's so much fucking better than the highway! Are you mad? It's A. I can compromise and say bottom A. Last offer.
Well, looks like we're all voting.
I'm saying it's low B.
No!
Dude, I love rock, but as a gameplay was, man, it's you go down a tunnel and you go to a rectangle.
I really don't like that finale.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's usually when I, like, quit the game once I reach it. Just because, like, I've gotten sick of it. Like, I think, like, first time playing Left 4 Dead 2, it's, like, my favorite finale ever. But then, after 16 years and 2,000 hours, it gets really old.
Yeah, the honeymoon phase is over.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's aesthetically one of the coolest, if not the coolest. And I like the idea. I can't remember who was talking about it, but like being like the idea for the players being on the stage, it kind of does feel like that with all the gear up there and everything, and also having the pyro that you can set off and light the zombies on fire. I don't know. I think it's a lot of fun. I like the fireworks, the music. I think it really does add a lot to it. So I would say high B.
High B? Okay.
I would say the same thing. For me, I just really like the music. I mean, the entire time the characters were talking about it and hyping it up, and it actually delivered when they got there. It wasn't just some bullshit of like, oh look, here's a stage and we get the swing guitars around and that's it. At least it actually played something.
Yeah.
But let's say it's somewhere in B. TK can scream at you, whatever place in B he wants it, but it's somewhere in B.
I think it's better than No Mercy finale.
If it was just campaign mode, no versus, I would put it in Z, but I think with versus specifically, it should be right
I'll
at
say
the
it's
very
better than
bottom
Mercy.
of B.
Bottom B. You are.
I
mad.
enjoy the hectic, dreadful chaos of that roller coaster way more than any part of this finale and versus.
Let's put it between these finales then. Now, I think this is probably a lot of people's least favorite campaign. I personally like Swamp Fever just because it feels different. But Swamp Fever Chapter 1, what's the consensus here?
I like Swamp Fever more than Hard Rain.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I have to admit, at first I hated this map, but the more we play it, the more I enjoy it.
Yeah, especially when you get to the river. I like getting up to the river and calling the bridge. That's fun. Not the bridge, but the boat.
That gondola has had so many good moments on it.
Oh, yeah.
So many.
The second half, because, like, you have to go into the water, right? Like, you get off the platform and then you could kind of like go to the right where there's a path, or you could just go right through the water. And if you go through the water, it's going to be more dangerous, but there's like a risk-reward thing because you could get to the safe room quicker.
Honestly, it's not anything that sticks out, but I'd say it's like maybe high B. It's definitely better than the Passings first chapter.
Yeah.
But what about the streets for Dead Center?
I think it's better.
Yeah, I'd say it's better.
Now, this one is where there's just a shit ton of water. This
is my least favorite of all of it.
Of all of Left 4 Dead 2?
Well, no, of the campaign.
Yeah, I can understand that. You go through the swampy area, the plane, the crescendo. You go to the side building where it has a bunch of health packs. You go through into the safe room.
Okay. I don't mind that one.
There's not a lot going on. It is just the plane is the whole thing.
Chapter 2, the plane thing, I like the lead up to it. There's a lot of like cool little spots. The guy in the parachute dangling down. The crescendo for it is way more fun to go through than the Chapter 3 crescendo.
Yeah.
Where you have to do that stupid ass bridge. God, I hate that.
The two maps feel very similar.
Yeah, I feel like Chapter 2 does better. I do... I'd say maybe this is in low B.
Yeah.
Because it's not bad, but it does have a lot of lulls.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I can back that.
Okay. I'm not a big fan of Shantytown. I usually hate going through Shantytown. I like
The only good thing is trying to do the skip.
Yeah. I like the very beginning of the little town, but it doesn't become a town after all. It's just scant buildings here and there, and that's it.
It's a very open map for some reason.
Yeah, for it being called the Shantytown and not the swamp, there's not much to
Yeah, no, there's not. I'd
Honestly,
say C then.
Yeah, I'd put it like mid-C.
Yeah, I'd say it's better than Blood Harvest finale. No, worse, sorry, than Blood Harvest finale. There's just nothing really going on in that map.
Meh.
Yeah, meh.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, this whole map is just like it doesn't bother me at all. I don't mind it,
Actually,
other than the plantation.
yeah. Now, Swamp Fever finale. I think it's one of the best finales.
I have one argument about that. It is a nightmare to do on Expert. I hate this finale.
Oh, yeah. I like the challenge of it on Expert, though.
That's some Heron
it
cuts
just-
with this
Mhm.
one.
I'm gonna go off. I don't know who said it. They said about the 2 tanks, which is
was-
pretty
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
I just feel like the first part's a little too long,
Yeah.
just a tiny bit long. I feel like they should have started the safe room
It's
right where
really
that
long.
that fence is at,
Oh, right in front of the
and that would be
plantation.
fine. No, like right where the town starts. You know, you open.
Honestly,
like,
yeah.
where-
You wouldn't have that
I
wide
think it
open
should just
area.
start right there, and then that's it.
And it's
And
not
the
even
two
that
tanks is
open
pretty
part.
cool.
It's hard too. Like it's just like kind of boring.
Yeah, there's just nothing going on there.
It takes too long to get to the finale. Because we've had it where we have died on verses before even starting the finale.
Yeah, because you have the drop-off point of even getting to it.
I find like the easiest strategy with this finale is to like camp in the right staircase.
Oh, yeah. That's where we always
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like that kind of in a way makes it not fun.
Yeah,
But
it
it's
does kind
kind
of relegate you.
fun. They kind of force you to like get out and run around and even use like the garden area in the back.
Yeah, I love that garden area with the mazes and stuff. It's fun to run around in, but also it's kind of discourages you because you get separated from the team very easily.
Yeah.
I'd still say it's up here somewhere in the B's because just the double tanks alone makes it interesting. And
Maybe with No Mercy on B.
I'd put it above the concert.
oh, above the concert, yeah, I would put it above the concert too.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to? Where would you put it?
I put it in
TK,
S.
what are your thoughts?
S tier.
I
Ooh,
don't think it's better than a concert.
I don't think it's S tier, or is it the Z tier?
Z tier. It's good zombies.
No.
I'm okay anywhere high B or low A.
I think I would put it below streets on Dead Center.
So you would put it there. So everyone's saying somewhere in the B's, and then we have one S tier to bump it. I feel like Swamp Fever is better than all of these.
I agree.
I disagree. It's the start is too long for it to be better.
Yeah, the start's not that good.
The start does drag it down for a finale.
So I would
Yeah.
say actually put it under the concert, just because the concert at least it started right away.
True. You
It
know,
wasn't
yeah,
like let me take 15 minutes to get there.
that's true. If it wasn't for the intro, I would say it was S tier. Yeah, that's a good spot. B for butt tier. There we go. Okay. What about Hard Rain's first chapter?
It's good. I like that one, the
Yeah,
first
it's
one.
good.
I
With
like.
this level,
Oh, go
you
ahead.
could like beat it like it within like 30 or like a minute.
It's a
Or
very
you
easy
could
level.
actually take the time to like loot the other buildings and stuff.
Yeah, it's a very just run through it map. You go through the garage sale because a lot of the stuff if you're doing a campaign, you're probably not even going to touch it. You'll make a note of what's there and then come back through because you're probably messed up and need it.
I was gonna say it's a fun gimmick of the fact that on campaign you can come back and get stuff later.
Yeah, I do like that. You go to the playground. There's the open area, the garage sale. The garage sale with guns there. That's the most American thing. I love that shit.
Treehouse with the sniper as well was quite funny.
The treehouse with the sniper is fun. That is a little. It's a pretty average chapter. I'd put it above a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it goes above the mall, honestly.
Oh, so like right here.
Yeah,
Anybody else
right.
hold this near and dear to their heart? The burger tank.
That seems about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's
Has a lot of stuff you can look at if you really want to just take your time in it.
Yeah. Chapter 2, I feel like that one is probably the highlight of the campaign, is going through the sugar mill, seeing all the witches walking around, there being multiple.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's honestly, I think it's my favorite chapter to go through when we play
I was
Hard
gonna
Rain.
say I would say low A.
I'd say it's above the sewers 100%.
I'd
I
put it above the
think
hospital.
Above the hospital. Ooh.
I think we should move that sewer down a tier. Honestly, having a sewer in A is awful.
I don't think it's better than the hospital.
Do we want to move the sewers down a tier, or do we want to keep it there? Because he is advocating for it. Nope, we're just...
I say keep it.
Keep it? Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't we look at it at the end? Let's look at it at the end, because there's some things that should be moved, but
Yeah, that's fair.
finish it
We
first.
could revisit.
So yeah, put this here.
Absolutely.
I don't think it should be above the hospital.
I honestly think going back on this map is more fun than going through it.
I do think it's like one of the best. Just the mill itself, I think, is like super interesting, more interesting than it leads on. With
It's-
like, if you know about like the real tragedy or whatever that happened in
No.
Savannah, Georgia in like 2008, where a sugar mill explosion. And so like,
No, I didn't know that.
This theory that I read that like the witches are attracted not really to the sugar but to the tragedy.
Oh.
I just think that's really interesting.
They're like ghosts, sort of, how they're appearing in like a sad place. That's why they're there crying and stuff.
Right. The theory that I read
That's
said
cool.
They're widows of like the deceased
Oh.
workers.
Oh, that's really cool. I've never
fun
thought of it
video
like
idea.
that before.
I'm fully embracing that concept for the hard rain animation.
Oh, heck yeah.
That, honestly, that might put it above the hospital. That's such a cool idea.
I still, gameplay wise, I like playing through this more than the hospital. Okay, so we got the gas cans. Let's see. So now they're having to go back. What do you guys think of the water coming back here? I think for this part, it's not bad because the way they designed the map where you can keep vertical, I like that they made it to where you can stay above ground and you don't have to tread through water that much.
S tier. Just the fact that I can speedrun and leave everyone.
That is the chapter 3 and 4 is built for speed running.
This one especially is always me running ahead, making it, and everyone else is.
Yeah.
Making it, he says.
No, I do. Mate, 9 out of 10 times I make it on this map, and everyone is always behind me struggling.
Honestly, I like how it brought back the map idea and gave it a different coat of paint and like kind of destroyed part of the map, but you get to go back through it and get to explore the parts that why the hell would you go there going through it the first time?
I just love the idea that this parkour map is kind of there the entire time, but going through it the first time, you hardly notice it. You have no reason to. And then coming back, you're like, oh my god, this flows so well.
It definitely gives you the way to get away from the fucking annoying ass water.
A tier 2? Like right beside
Yeah, honestly.
No.
I'd say it's above the normal version.
What do you guys think?
I'd say behind the normal one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now chapter 4. This is just chapter 1 cut in half, and this is another one where you just speed through it.
I don't like it.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan
I'm
because
in
even
mix.
in versus it really fucks up the score system because you get what
After
800 points for doing half a chapter.
Yeah, it's like a minute long, and you can get so many points for no reason.
I don't
I
understand.
just
why
feel
they
like
do
it.
that way.
I don't know. After the last mission, I just kind of get bored
Yeah,
of
it's
the
just the
whole water
same
thing.
Yeah. So where would
I don't
we?
like it at all.
I don't either.
I hate
I
it.
enjoy it for verses, honestly.
it's-
That is it.
It's the worst chapter in the whole Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah, it feels
It
like
is,
something
honestly.
Back for Blood would have done back in the day because they liked rehashing the same level but making it worse.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like the one chapter in that game where you just go through the town, like, stupidly quick. It's kind of like that.
I do like how some of it's drowned and dilapidated, but most of the time it's just speeding through it. I'd say it's either bottom of C or top of F.
I agree.
F.
Maybe I am
Top
leaning
of F.
towards F.
Yeah, let's do F just to give F some diversity.
All right, the Parish. Let's get the next one.
Oh no, no, we gotta get to the
No,
finale.
you just leave it there.
Speaking from when I did challenge runs back in the day, I got through everything moderately okay. It's this finale in trying to beat tanks. They had to make it to where if you were gonna make a flooded area, they should have made more areas to where you can fight infected instead of making 1/3 of the grenades impossible to use.
It's just the whole floor. It's like playing the floor as lava. If you go down, you're stuck.
Yeah.
It's going to be a nightmare to get back on the roof.
Versus they made it to where it's not as slow, but just trying to get through it on campaign, I hate doing the finale.
Yeah.
If
Which-
you fall off and run into the porta potty and then just lock yourself in there.
Honestly, I think
I feel like just
yeah, I'd say bottom is
It's the worst. No, F. This got to be F.
Leave
It's
it
so bad.
Yeah, it is like the worst finale I might even have that, like all 3, 4, and the finale, just all one video.
Yeah, that's completely
You think
fair.
it's better than the Crash Course finale?
Oh, actually, I like
Actually,
Crash
I'm gonna
Course
say
better
yeah,
than
it
that.
is. I'm gonna say it is only because the storm causes like some type of hecticness. I like the storm where you can't see, it's loud, you don't know what's going on. Crash Course was odd. Nah.
Yeah, and it's direct to the point. Crash Course, it's like, this is supposed to be 2 chapters, but we'll make it 1. Hard Rain is the opposite, where we split 2 short chapters, and this is, we're going to make 3 chapters in 1.
I do slightly enjoy it more than the chapter right before this one. I think it should be top of F.
Oh, the finale?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I will say I like the finale better than that one.
Okay, now we're getting into the final one before we get to the cold streams. The Parish, Chapter 1. Now,
I think this is the best overall campaign in the game.
oh yeah, it's definitely the one they put their heart and soul into the most.
I still remember playing the demo when I was like 9 years old.
Oh, don't
Oh
tell
my
me.
god, you're right.
Don't
yeah.
tell me that. I was fucking 18. Or 17. 17. I was 17.
God, you're old.
Yeah, I remember when that demo came out on Xbox, man.
I was 8.
That's unlocked a core memory. I completely forgot about that demo.
Mm-hmm. And if you pre-ordered, you got the baseball bat. They did say it even in the developer commentary. Chapter 1 and 2 are originally supposed to be 1 mega chapter, but they split it.
It's the right choice to split it, though. Else that would be too long.
And I do love how you go through Nolans, and there's the jukebox you go through. You can go up top, go around. It's really fun to go through in the first part. I like it. It's a really good introduction.
I'm saying A.
Yeah,
ATM8.
it's definitely not Z tier, but it's definitely A tier. It's kind of like in the same vein as Dead Center.
Yeah.
I think Dead Center's a cut above it, though, just because there's more going on.
Yes.
It's short and sweet.
And honestly, I think Sacrifice is a little bit above it, too.
I think only because of the tank.
Yeah, the tape
Yeah.
nudges it.
Yeah.
Now, Chapter 2, The Park, The Parish.
I don't like this one.
It feels brutally long when you play through it.
It does.
I don't like any parts of it. I don't know why. It's just from start to finish. I don't care for it at all.
The only good thing is that it recognizes it's long, so it gives you
The health
med
packs.
kits halfway
Yeah,
through.
I was going to mention
Yeah.
that. Right as you get before that tunnel. Then you get another
Yeah.
set of health kits and pills in the military convoy medic CETA truck
Yeah.
thing.
I like it quite a lot.
Yeah, that crescendo can be fun.
That
as
crescendo
well.
is fun. I love the crescendo. And plus, it makes sense because it's a quarantine thing where you're supposed to go through lines and shit.
Right after that crescendo, it should have been the safe room.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
It should have been in the bus station.
in the bus station.
Yeah, I don't like the park at all. I hate that part. Everything after the crescendo, I like it.
I'd say it's like F. I'm not gonna put it in F. That's definitely not F tier. I like the park just because you have 3 different directions you can go, and there's the staircase leading up to it. It's real nice.
I'd say
because-
what? A.
Oh, below the sewer, right?
Just above. Like, there's a sewer there.
What do you, anybody else want to say B or A?
I think it's A.
I would say low A.
Yeah. Put it
Yeah,
on graph.
I'd go with low A.
I think it's B. But it doesn't matter. Let's go on.
All right, going to the cemetery. I think it's honestly, when we're talking about long maps, this one feels long, but in a fun way.
Yeah, I think this one is the worst.
The sewer
Yeah,
part is so
and
unnecessary.
introduce
Yeah.
problem
It
Murmur.
really
Exactly.
is.
You've got to go over the bus, which, if you're playing with someone who's brain dead, they're going to get pulled off of that every fucking time. And it's just frustrating. And then you've got that drop off the house where, I don't know why, but it seems like there is always a tank there. And then you've got to drop into the sewer, and then it's the cars, and then it's the maze on campaign.
That's the bridge. Then you have to go up the ladder and the
Yeah.
bridge. That ladder after
Yeah.
the cemetery is such a bitch when it comes to a horde event if you set it off.
And then the cemetery itself on campaign is a maze, and it changes, it's random.
I will say, I love that it's randomized, but I wish that
Oh,
would
yeah.
have been near the beginning instead of being through all the other clusterfucks of shit.
The cemetery is definitely the best part, but it just comes far too late.
And by the time you get there, you're already trying to rush to the safe room.
Exactly.
Because if you're trying to explore it, you're already low health. You're like, I just want to get to the safe room. I've been beaten down.
Yeah. Honestly, I'd say B.
I would say it's better than the last one we just did.
Really?
I
Better
agree.
than the park.
Yeah, I don't think the park should be up there.
I think both of these maps are very similar, but I just think the cemetery one is worse. At least, speaking on just verses, it's very rare that you actually even make it to the cemetery. I would back, like, maybe bottom A. I'm
Yeah,
okay
you can leave it
with
right
that.
there.
So chapter 4, I can't remember what chapter 4 is called, but
Is it
It's
just
my least favorite
streets?
chapter.
I think this is my least favorite in
Yeah.
Parish. I usually don't like playing through this one.
It's
I
kind
like
of
this
boring,
either.
honestly. You're just hopping through buildings, basically.
Yeah, you go
And
through
then midway
the,
through, have to do the crescendo.
Yeah, there's that courtyard, go through the building, you drop off.
Drop off
There's
again.
the float where infected are showing you their boobs.
I do like the float.
The float is funny, but do you like holding out there though? Is the thing.
Yeah, I
No.
do. I think that's
Really?
the most fun part of that level. I think the rest of it is too cramped.
The second half is playing all these years. I don't remember the layout of the streets and the buildings
No.
there because it's.
I
always
get
a big
lost
rush.
so much on that last bit.
It's my least favorite chapter for sure.
Yeah, it's
in
like
the
a
Parish.
blur.
It really is a blur. It's like you speed run. There's the float. Speed run again.
I just remember the float.
Well, we won't do it for F for float, but maybe like mid C. I'd
I
put it
can
mid
back
C.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the finales better than I do this. Hell, even the beginning
Same.
of Blood Harvest better.
Yeah.
But I'd rather go through this than the airport. Okay, and then we have the only finale that's like this, and it's the very ending of the series.
I think it's the best
I
one.
Top
I
of
was
Z.
gonna say,
in Left 4 Dead
I
2,
think
yeah.
I think it's top of Z.
The only gauntlet finale, and it's all about
Yeah.
blood.
It is very
I think
fun.
I think this is the perfect end for the franchise in general.
Yeah,
Right.
but the Parish, I mean, it's not one of those where you're like speedrunning. I don't get to enjoy the view. It's like there's nothing to enjoy. It's a bunch of cars on the road. Get to the end.
There really isn't.
No, this whole
I
campaign
think
is
it'd
just
be nothing to look at.
this is just move or die. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, it's so against everything else that finales had been. I wish there had been one more finale that executed this, but they did it well with this. And hell, even though it's just one bridge, the way they laid it out with cars, like destroyed parts with the holes where you could insta-kill. There's a whole part where you can get to the third floor. There's even a glitch that started my whole channel that I based it on, where you can get outside the map. There's just a whole lot to what I criticized Dark Carnival being a rectangle. This is a very long rectangle, but in a very
Yeah.
good way.
I think this is the best map in the game.
Yeah, I could get behind that.
Yeah.
Okay, so where would put it in Z tier? So
Top.
you'd say top of Z tier?
That's all.
Yeah, it has the best fun factor.
Yeah,
In
it's
the
just go,
game.
go in a good way. So yeah, definitely put that up. And then I think one of us said we haven't played Coldstream all that much.
Yeah, it's me. I've never touched it.
Oh, you've never
wow.
touched it.
No.
Completely
So
valid.
it all goes
I
to
just
F.
added it.
Honestly, a lot of Coldstream, there's highlight points. Like it starts off like an Evil Dead thing. Then you go to do that down tree where you have to slowly cross. Fuck that. The crescendo event. Fuck
I
that.
like that one.
God.
I really do enjoy Coldstream. Probably
I
because I don't play it enough.
I like Coldstream, but
I think Coldstream is overhated. Like I see a lot of people dog on that one, but it's
Mhm.
really not that bad.
It's
but
it's not the
kinda-
worst, no.
I feel like it really is. I can't. It's lacking something. But it's
Length,
just, I don't think
possibly.
the length isn't too bad. It definitely was made with verses in mind too, with how it was designed.
I think it's just pretty, but it just doesn't give me the Left 4 Dead vibe at all.
So you're saying it feels like a custom campaign?
Which it is.
Honestly,
Where did you put it? I was there.
I'd put it around in the C area. It's not awful.
I-
I do enjoy the
I think
beginning.
it's,
It's the second half that kind of like, eh.
well, that's the thing though. With it being so short, it's just it's the whole thing. Pretty much is the ending. The beginning part is so nothing, and then it's the tough end.
Yeah, it's not too bad because the crescendo you start yourself and you can work with it.
Yeah,
And it's honestly manageable compared to this.
yeah,
So maybe that's a good spot for it.
yeah. I can agree.
Okay, now that we're blinded for chapter 2, there's the part where we get out of the tunnel. The tank knocks the rock down. That honestly is a really cool set piece. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was blind the entire time.
I was gonna say couldn't see it, unfortunately.
You need to change that image to just the fucking sun.
Just white light.
That's your chapter right there. Just the,
I like
the
this
sun in a
chapter.
box.
This chapter is probably my favorite in Coldstream, just because there's a
The
lot that
crescendo
happens.
is insane.
It is
That's
insane.
If you could manage to get a chainsaw, it's so much better.
Oh yeah, it's like it's chapter 2, the passing, but on crack with the ending.
Yeah.
Because
I
even
don't
if
think
you,
I've ever not had fun on this particular chapter. I'd put it in A.
yeah, honestly,
Hey.
I could agree.
A? No.
'Cause-
B.
I like going through this chapter, and honestly, by the end, there's even the mechanic of the stream pushing you, which I feel like they could have executed better, where you go against it because you could fall off at the
Yeah.
very end. That's a mechanic that just kind of was half-assed. Not half-assed, but not well executed. That's what I should say. But honestly, I like it. Honestly, I'd say maybe high B.
Yeah, I don't think it's better than the finales, but
No, I'd put it above these two at least.
yeah.
Because
I
thinking
would
about
argue
it,
maybe above the passing.
yeah, I guess so. Because I like its second half better than that second half.
Yeah, I do agree that where it's placed.
I think my least favorite chapter for Coldstream, it leans on this one a lot.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't like the whole just coming out of that whole first bit. Is that the one where you have to come out of like the?
The hole, you go up the
Yep.
bridge.
Yeah, it's just like death the entire time, and if it gets down, it's like a domino effect.
That staircase, if one person gets downed, man.
I'm gonna start just
Yeah.
losing people because every time I go down to save somebody, I get screwed.
Yeah.
And if they're on tank mode, all the tanks, most of them spawn outside of the map. They can't
Yeah.
even move.
Yeah, I remember that. That's awful.
Now, there is the set piece of like the bridge blowing up and the car falling down and setting off the car alarm. I love that, but you have to get through so much shit to get to that cool set piece that it kind of dilutes it.
Yeah.
I still remember when I was new to Left 4 Dead, the car like falling on the bridge would always kill me. It's like I would never remember where it was.
It's not the worst. I'd say maybe it's in mid to high C.
Yeah.
Maybe
The
definitely above
beginning.
it. Yeah.
The beginning, surely.
Okay. So now we have the last finale, the Coldstream finale. They try to pull the Parish finale where it's just go, go, go the whole time. I think it did it okay. It feels like if the Parish finale had 2 to 3 sections instead of just
It
bridge
feels
jump off.
much longer.
It's definitely much longer.
Yeah, it's like too long, I'd say.
Yeah, because
And as well, you don't just like immediately go into it. You got that beginning bit where that specialists can just spawn.
yeah, in that building, you have to get through one of the doors. You have to start it up, get supplies, and then there's a giant open area with the jump-off point. And then there's like 2 to 3 different river sections, and then you get through the one more sewer to go through it all to get to the building, and then
And
you
if
go
you're
through
not
a
paying
maze.
attention, you'll go right off the edge.
Yep. Honestly, it's like the Parish, but if Hard Rain was trying to symbiote into it. Honestly, we could put it in the clump of the finales there.
Yeah.
Okay, that is the tier list. Is there anything you guys want to revise before we're done?
I can't believe there is a sewer in A still.
It's just
Why don't
sitting there
we?
I think
menacing.
it should stay there because, like I said before, it's so detailed and it's so
We
nice.
should move it up. I think we should move it up a little.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We should put it. We
There
should
you
put
go.
it at the top,
it's the
right
best.
there.
It's the best level.
This is invalid. This is done.
Let's just
End the
swap
video.
that one with the hospital one.
I'll put that there.
And you can keep the hospital there. You can put the finale on No Mercy at the top. Make its own tier.
All right, boys. So is this good?
I'm happy with it.
There was a lot less F tiers than I thought there were going to be, and the fact
There's
that
not a lot of bad.
the fact it's
honestly.
just Hard Rain and Crash Course.
Yeah, that is funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, is there any other final
Yeah.
thoughts?
Nope.
Alrighty, well thank you guys for joining, and we'll get to the outro. Bazinga. What are your thoughts on all this? Let me know down below. Chip in a buck or something over on my Patreon or YouTube channel memberships to be on this list here. And I would be nowhere without Chago helping me edit this together, so big shout out to him. He has been a great help with this one. Support the channel by using code WOW at GamerSupps to get 10% off your order, and I'll get my own flavor and waifu cup to hopefully make it Left 4 Dead inspired. Until next time, I'm Zach Cass, aka Wow Such Gaming. Never forget to stay creative, stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay wow.